Okay, so hey, I'm Dean. I'm looking to try to do some videos on how I learn stuff. Maybe like my reaction on some of the stuff that I'm trying to learn. It might also be sort of selfish because I want to try and just push myself to learn stuff that I've never done before. And sometimes when you are trying to learn stuff and it's difficult, if you're just doing it by yourself for yourself, then you don't generally do it, or maybe you're less inclined to do it. So today I want to take a look, see how far I can get with some Guthrie Govan stuff. And I love the Erotic Cakes album. I think it's super awesome. There's a bunch of stuff in here I've never learned. There's a couple songs I have kind of taken parts from. I've learned the intro of Waves. I've learned, some of sevens, some of fives, but I've never tried to learn this guy. That's hard. That sounds insane. Let's take a listen again. Oh, it never ends. Okay. So I want to see how far I can get. I have a tab up here. I'm going to switch to a clean channel with no reverb. That's kind of how I'm doing things, trying to learn stuff for the first time. I can't guarantee I'll actually make it anywhere, valuable for anybody here to hear me get to, but I mean, I'm going to try. Let's make sure this isn't clipping. Hey, no clip. Oh, there's a bit of clip, well, whatever. Okay, so let's go back to this first guy. This is how I would probably learn something. If I'm learning something like this, I'm going to get the feel of the first part. Everything is straight 16ths. So I have a tab here. I don't know how accurate it is. I think it's actually done by Guthrie Govan, but I could be wrong. It says his name, so it's got his name. He's got a weird name, or at least I think it's weird, but I'm Canadian, so. So I'm going to start out by analyzing maybe what kind of finger positions go into this, and I haven't really warmed up yet. I basically just turned on this cameras and turned on my recording software and then hit record, and I haven't warmed up. So before we get too far into this, let me just kind of show you what my warm-up might be. I'll usually do that chromatic thing. Peaking a little bit. How about this? Just turn it down a little bit. Yeah, so that's kind of my warm-up. So you notice that a lot of the time when I'm doing that kind of stuff, my right hand is actually palm muting. So I'll be palm muting and trying to do this sort of bringing my hand down with my elbow, my shoulder. So that's kind of my way to do it. This is good for the right hand, good for the left hand. There's not really it's not like the most complex kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it does the job for me anyway. It sort of makes sure that my left and right hands are more, they're as, synced up as possible. A big thing that you could probably try to consider when you're doing something like this is trying to keep the downstrokes in order, that kind of thing. So we want to make sure that our downstrokes are accented. The downstroke in every new string, rather. playing with a really clean tone like this is going to make you be as honest with yourself as possible, because you can put a bunch of distortion on there and you won't necessarily hear some of the missed notes and stuff like that. So just try to be honest with yourself when you're playing that kind of stuff. You don't want to be hiding behind some of those, some of those missed notes and some of that distortion, because then you'll never fix some of the problems you got. So what else I might do for warm up with this Petrucci sort of sweep exercise. That kind of thing. That's a big thing with my my right and left hand coordination together. That kind of stuff. I also might do a piece that I'm working on. So right now I'm working on this. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm working on this piece a lot. I feel pretty good. I'm gonna post tabs and all this kind of stuff for all the stuff I just played in the description as well. So if you want to check out that stuff, see what my warm up is like, see how it compares to yours, and yeah, you might be able to add some stuff to your warm up. So all right, let's get started with this tab. I'm gonna just refresh my memory with the feeling of it. I know that we're having straight 16ths. I want to see what kind of speed it's at. Okay, let's see if we can do it. So on the tab, we start at the 15th fret. Okay, that might be a phrase, maybe not a full phrase, but it might be a section I might take on its own. I kind of hate it because we're starting with our ring finger, or at least I am. As I go on, I'll sort of adjust my left hand position thinking, so I don't want to necessarily keep it totally strict to start off with, because I don't know what's coming up. So if I start here, that's a flat 5. That's hard to get to with my pinky. Oh. So I want to try and get it off the paper or off the tab as quick as I can. There's a couple of phrases in there that we could imagine as sort of sequences. We're doing 1, 2, 3, 1. Dum bum 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 bum. That is stupid. Oh, that's a climbing back up. Now we have sort of pentatonic thing going on. Oh, chromatic run. So at the beginning, there's sort of a cyclical kind of, the same kind of sequence going downwards. That one sucks. I don't want to sweep it because I don't think he would sweep it. So it's 15, 12, 12. Oh, 15, 12, 15. So that one sucks. One thing that you want to make sure to do is, like, if you're feeling weak with barring with a certain finger, try to put more emphasis on it. I'm finding myself kind of shying away from barring with my pinky finger. So I should probably try that. If we're starting with our ring, just to get that pinky up there. That's actually maybe a little bit easier. So now we've ended on this 15th fret here. It's starting to kind of sound a little bit more like the song. That's the thing you're going to find as you go along learning harder and harder pieces. You'll get to the point where you start to hear the song in the thing you're playing, because everybody starts playing, starts learning something, and you get kind of discouraged. You're like, where is the song? You know, you want to hear the actual thing that you're learning inside of your own guitar playing. And if you don't hear it for a good 15 minutes until, like 15 minutes into your practice session or whatever, you're then, okay, now I can sort of hear it. If you don't get to that point, it's really discouraging. So you just have to try and take small enough chunks and try to really make sure that you're listening for the song. But there's always a moment where it sort of clicks, and you're like, there's the song. That's the melody I'm trying to learn. So I think I just got there with this first part. Oh. That's tough. Yeah, I'll have to spend some time on that. So we have a bit of a stretch kind of pentatonic thing. The whole thing is kind of based on pentatonic, or at least so far you have a bit of pentatonic shapes. You might, as a warm-up or a practice, try and get used to this kind of thing. That kind of thing. Just working on your pentatonic scale. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. We're going to go from... So now we turn around back to the 12th fret. Now we're climbing up. Oh. Sorry. That's a cool run. That is tough. So many turnarounds with this. Oh my god. So many turnarounds. Let's listen to it real quick so that I can sort of get my inspiration back up. God, what a tough piece of music. Holy shit. That's a cool run. Oh! This is not a one practice session type of piece, by the way. If you're expecting to watch this video and watch me just rip out this intro, there's just no way it's going to happen. But I wanted to take you through some of the stuff that I'm going to think when I'm learning a piece like this. So what I want to do is just go through the parts that I really like in a song. I really like the intro of this song. I think it's fucking sweet. So I'm going to go through that intro, or go through the section that I'm working on, or that I really want to learn. And as I go through it, I'm going to recognize shapes that might help me. I'm going to try and drill things. I'm going to recognize my own weaknesses. One weakness that apparently I now have discovered is that I have sort of a tendency to not want to borrow with my pinky. I know that I have a pretty strong pinky. If I'm trying to borrow with my pinky, I'm not getting any kind of farty kind of notes. Oops. So that's all with my pinky. So there's no point my pinky is like weak, you know. It's the coordination to get it there to bar between my index and my pinky that I'm sort of struggling with in this piece. Here's a cool thing to kind of get through if you have maybe a similar kind of thing. You have your ascending fours in pentatonic. Oops. Oh, here it is again. Ascending fours in pentatonic. Not so terrible. So you have a bit of a bar at the end of the with the pinky. You also have a lot of barring with the index in the middle. So there's a lot of stuff in there that's kind of difficult. Again, that's in the description below. So that's your pentatonic ascending fours run. You could use that as a warm-up, or maybe even one of your solos or something like that if you're trying to write something and you need to sort of make more out of less information. So all you have is your pentatonic scale in this, and you really want to stick to that pentatonic scale. Here's a way to sort of make it last, get a bit more mileage. It's kind of the way I think about it anyway. Anyway, let's get back to this piece real quick. We have... 14 there. Oh, position switch. I think. Another position switch. So you see what I did there is I'm reading it along in the paper. I'm getting more and more comfortable with all the ideas. I took some time out and I sort of distracted myself. A little bit from the actual playing. I wanted to make sure that my brain is not necessarily... Some weird beeping outside. I don't want my brain to get so frustrated with this piece and sort of get diminishing returns. I don't want to be practicing, and then start getting worse at a piece, and then get frustrated, and then give up. There is a crazy amount of beeping outside my house right now. It's super weird. I don't know what's going on over there. Damn garbage truck. So yeah, that's a cool thing to kind of think about. Sort of make sure you're keeping a frustration-free environment, or at least whenever you feel that sort of wave of frustration, you just kick it. You just go, I'm just going to work on something else. I'm going to think about something else for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then I'll come back in. So you can run through this again. That switch there, I'm not sure exactly how he would do it, but here's how I would probably do it, just on first look. I would do a big switch. That kind of thing. Ooh, it sounds Christmassy. Sorry. I don't know what the hell that was. Then we're going to go 22. 22 to 18, 19, 20, 18, 20. If you're not comfortable with the fret numbers up past the 12th fret or up past the 15th fret, that's something you need to get sort of into your brain. It's tough for me too. I find it tough. Sometimes I get a little bit confused. You need these land markers. So you're using your 17th fret, which is the equivalent of your 5th fret. That's a big thing I think about, sort of what's the equivalent down the octave below. So you might think 5, 7, 9, 12, or 24, 19, 17, 15, sorry. Whoops. 20, 24, 21, 19, 17, 15, 12. So apparently I cannot count. Anyway, trying to familiarize yourself with it may be better than me. I don't know. That might be good. There's a goal. Oops. Now I'm really hearing the song. Now we're doing some cool descending stuff. Oh. Where are you going with 17? Oh, really cool. And then you get a bar. That 17th fret on the D to the A. That's cool. Try one more time. Oh, just trying to hunt for some familiar shapes. as we're going on. Oh. Oh. He loves his barring in this. What am I doing? Oh my god. Oh, 2018. Oh, this is tough. So I want to set some goals for myself, some realistic goals. This is just page 1 that I have. Set some realistic goals for myself. So first off, what I'm doing is maybe a little bit challenging for some people here, is to just go through the entire page that you have and just rush through it and see if you can just read it off the tab. It's a great thing to be able to do. You will never play it up to speed reading off of a tab. So the first thing you want to do is get it off the page. I'm going through to sort of analyze what parts in here I'm going to find difficult, what parts I'm going to sort of have to work on. So yeah, set some goals for yourself by going through it and seeing what your weak spots are, making sure that you're warmed up before you play, which maybe I should have been more warmed up, and just keeping at it. I mean, honestly, there's nothing that in guitar that you can't do by just throwing more time into it. So you throw more time into it, and you're going to get it. That's just it. As long as your practice schedule's good, and as long as you are practicing smart, then you'll get it. You know, if it's a technique thing, all you have to do is remember that you have 4 fingers on your left hand. Guitar playing, technique-wise, is all about how many permutations you've mastered. So if you master all your permutations with your left hand, all the different finger combinations, or at least a bunch of them, or most of them, then you'll have a lot of tools in your toolkit to work with, and you'll find yourself getting better and better and better. So working with a piece that you find difficult, maybe setting some long-term goals and some short-term goals. Long-term, I want to be able to play this up to speed. Short-term, I want to get the first 2 bars down today, tomorrow, whatever it is, memorized up to speed. That'd be cool. Maybe even not the up to speed part, just memorize it.
20 minutes later.
I am back, and I think that I have a bit of a handle on the first 4 bars. The first 4 bars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, I'm not up to speed yet, but that's fine. I've been playing it at half speed, which is crazy that that's half speed. I mean, I thought that half speed was going to be at least sort of doable. Here's half speed of this track. So I'll show you what it kind of sounds like, what I got. Oops. So I have that all totally memorized, which is pretty good. I've been sitting here for about 20 minutes trying to play it, so that's about the level that I'm at for 20 minutes. So let me try it again. So you can see I'm not really pushing myself too far tempo-wise. I'm getting it comfortable, but it really starts to sound like the song now, which is cool. Getting a bit frustrated with it, trying to figure out different ways to play it. The tab that I have, I think, is probably done by Guthrie or done by somebody who transcribed for him, so it's pretty legit. So yeah, I'm getting close. Let's see if I can play with the half-speed song. Trying to figure out where it starts is one hard thing, too. Oh. Alright, that's the best I've ever played it. Just for you guys. Very good. I'm going to keep working at it. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, full speed. Just for context, so we can sort of get back and forth a little bit. Here's a full speed. Good luck. Good luck.
One eternity later.
So taking a bit of a break. Now I'm back, maybe 15 minutes later. Let's see how fast I can get it. I think I can probably get the half speed now pretty easily. Let's double check. Okay, some hiccups at the beginning, but I feel pretty good about that. Try it again. I feel pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Some of my memorization is kind of going out the window. Let's try it again. This is half speed, so imagine what full speed is. I am losing the memorization all of a sudden. I have it faster, so let's try it 3/4 speed and see if that sort of jars my memory a little bit. Jogs, not jars. Jogs. Oh my god. I can't even start with it. Why did I think I could play it at 3/4 speed? Alright. I'm not quite there yet. I feel like this is going to take longer than a few minutes. I feel like I'm probably going to have to get it under my fingers at 3/4 speed with the song, but man, that is hard. What is the tempo that we're playing this at? Let's check. The tempo is... Got my tempo here, or my metronome rather. Play to full speed. Let's call it 165 BPM. So I'm going to cut that in half. So I'm going to do around 80. I'm going to try with metronome and see if we can build it up a little bit. Here's my metronome. My annoying metronome. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. Let's crank it up 5. Actually, let's crank it up 10. I feel pretty confident with that. Oh. All right, that's getting better. Up 5. So now we're at 95 BPM. I'm rushing. Oh. Everything except for the end. I feel pretty good. Let's try it again. Up 100. So now we're at 100 BPM. So we're 60, 65 BPM shy of the actual song. All right, that's pretty good. I'm rushing. Getting there. Sometimes you see a big increase in how many BPM you get boosted every single time you practice it, and I'm seeing that right now. I'm seeing sort of my left hand is opening up in some way, and my memorization is getting more. You see I'm not looking at the tab anymore. I guess I shouldn't talk over this metronome, it's probably really annoying. Let's try it again. Oh! Felt like I was losing a little bit at the end, but I kept up the tempo. Try it again. Hmm, 110. Okay, so now I'm experiencing what I'm called sort of like a stream of, like I get this stream of notes coming out, and I'm not necessarily thinking about the one that I'm playing, but I'm thinking about five notes in advance. So I sort of have like this buffer kind of going on, and I don't really know how to explain it, but I think that if you play guitar and you learn challenging pieces, or really maybe any pieces, you'll probably get that same kind of feeling at some point where you're not thinking about the notes as they're coming by, you're thinking about what's coming up next, so you can make sure to make the right finger, the right hand changes, position switches rather, at the right time. So that's kind of what I'm getting now. Of course, now that I've said that, I'm going to jinx it. I'm going to boost it up to 115. Now we are, 45 BPM away from the tempo. Getting there. Getting a little bit of diminishing returns right now. I'm feeling sort of like I'm backing off a little bit. Maybe I gotta take a second break. 115, I feel pretty comfortable with that. I want to try and get it up to the tempo today. I'm nervous that that's not possible, or at least not within. Now I've been practicing this for maybe a total of an hour. So this is probably an hour. And this is only part of the intro. I think this is probably like 1/3 of the intro or something like that. But I mean, you can sort of follow the same process with all that kind of stuff for the next part. You follow the same process. You learn it, you get off the paper as quick as you can. You find your weaknesses, you drill them. You ride the waves of frustration. And then as soon as you have it off the paper and you can play to a metronome, or you can play to the song half speed or whatever you'd rather do, then you start getting into that kind of, like I was saying, stream of notes coming out. And as the notes come out and you get more and more comfortable with it and you make it you're less concentrating on the note that you're playing at the time, but more concentrating on the notes that are coming up, that's a good place to be. So 115, one more time. All right, I feel pretty good with that. 120. Oh, lost it a little bit. Oh man, I almost had that. I almost lost the last note. Pretty good. That's 120. The song is at 160, 165. So we're pretty close. That part is hard. Oh my god. 120, one more time. You can see that there's certain spots that are sort of tricky for me. Something to do with the left-hand shapes, I'm not totally sure. It's a little bit frustrating, but that's fine. So right now I'm getting sort of this, I'm never going to make it kind of feeling. In my head, I have a voice telling me, you could probably just call it quits here, and that would be fine. But that voice is full of shit. Fuck that voice. The voice sucks. So every time you hear that voice, you have to remember that it's lying. It's trying to get you to give in to sort of either your fears on your technique or whatever it is. It's trying to keep you from putting in the hard work that you need to do in order to get something to the point where you're really proud of it. That's just a bullshit voice. Bullshit voice. Bullshit voice. You just need to tell it to shut the fuck up. So I'm telling the voice to shut the fuck up right now. Let's see if we can do it again. 120. that get better? Feeling pretty good. Let's see 125. I feel like I'm not quite there yet. Oh, very, I'm just barely hanging on. Whew, that's a lot of notes. That's not the song. Oh, so close. 125. 125 maybe just a bit out of my reach right now. I'm gonna try and keep practicing on it and see how far I can get it up.
An hour later.
Oh boy. That is hard. That is really, really hard. Feeling a little bit frustrated. It's fine. No worries. All right, that's getting better. One more time. Let's see what 130 feels like. No, that's 30 BPM away from the song speed. I'm not hopeful that I can play it at this tempo. It's better than I thought. Okay, 130. My left hand and right hand feel a little bit stiff right now, but that's fine. Okay, well, I feel a little bit frustrated right now. Let's keep this a work in progress. I'm going to keep working on this. I'm going to see if I can update this video with how far I got, but I just wanted to give you an insight into sort of how my practice schedule kind of goes and what I would do if I was learning a really difficult piece like this. And I hope that there's some stuff in there that you can sort of go, okay, well, maybe I can amend my current practice schedule with this one piece of information, or, you know, maybe you just feel a little bit more inspired knowing that other people have the same issues with frustration and practice that maybe you do. I don't know. Because I definitely have all the same issues that anybody else would have when it comes to practicing. I find that maybe the thing that sets certain guitar players apart from others is the amount of time that they're willing, or the amount of time that they have, or the amount of time that they're willing to spend on the instrument. Because it really just comes down to that. It comes down to that. How much time? How's your practice schedule? What it consists of? Are you practicing smart? Are you realizing the things that your body is doing? When you get frustrated, are you trying to push through it and then you just discourage yourself? Or when you take a break, are you taking a break with the guitar in your hands? Are you sitting there with the guitar in your hands until your break is over? Or are you putting the guitar away, maybe going to do something else, and then maybe coming back? Maybe sometimes you don't come back, and that's the time where you really need to come back to the instrument and see if you can push yourself even further. So anyway, good luck to everybody trying to learn this, and I'll have a video up soon of how far I got, hopefully to the song tempo. Take care.